F1 Give Mercedes Terrible News. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is FIA are investigating into Mercedes Toto and Susie Wolff. Formula One's governing body, the FIA, is to launch an investigation into a potential conflict of interest, believed to be centered on the Mercedes team principal, Toto Wolff, and his wife, Susie. She is the managing director of the F1 Academy, the all-female series run by F1's owners, Formula One Management, FOM. The allegations have been denied by Mercedes and F1. Neither party has been named by the FIA, but it is understood they are the subject of the investigation after as yet unsubstantiated reports that Wolff had made a remark in a team principals meeting that suggested he had knowledge that could only have been sourced from FOM. The FIA on Tuesday said, "The FIA is aware of media speculation centered on the allegation of information of a confidential nature being passed to an F1 team principal from a member of FOM personnel. The FIA Compliance Department is looking into the matter. It is understood the concern has been raised because of the implication that the couple would be able to exchange information to which other parties, notably other F1 team principals, do not have access. This would potentially be in both directions, with the Mercedes principal privy to information from FOM and FOM potentially having access to details of private team principal discussions. In her capacity as managing director of the F1 Academy, Susie Wolff works closely with the F1 chief executive, Stefano Domenicali. Mercedes took issue with the FIA announcement and denied Wolff had in any way behaved with impropriety. We note the generic statement from the FIA this evening, which responds to unsubstantiated allegations from a single media outlet, and the off-record briefing which has linked it to the team principal of Mercedes AMG F1, they said. The team has received no communication from the FIA Compliance Department on this topic, and it was highly surprising to learn of the investigation through a media statement. We wholly reject the allegation in the statement and associated media coverage, which wrongly impinges on the integrity and compliance of our team principal. As a matter of course, we invite full, prompt, and transparent correspondence from the FIA Compliance Department regarding this investigation and its contents. FOM insisted there had been no conflict of interest and that the allegations were without foundation. We note the public statement made by the FIA this evening that was not shared with us in advance. We have complete confidence that the allegations are wrong, and we have robust processes and procedures that ensure the segregation of information and responsibilities in the event of any potential conflict of interest. We are confident that no member of our team has made any unauthorized disclosure to a team principal and would caution anyone against making imprudent and serious allegations without substance. No teams have publicly commented on the issue, but it is reported that the president of the FIA, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, has been lobbied to open an investigation. Toto Wolff became team principal of Mercedes in 2013, since when the team have won 8 constructors' championships and 7 drivers' titles. Susie Wolff is a former driver who was team principal of the Venturi Formula E team and became managing director of the F1 Academy in March, before the series began its inaugural season this year. All 9 of Mercedes' Formula One rivals have denied that they submitted a complaint to the FIA over recent allegations made against both Toto and Susie Wolff. The sport's governing body announced on Tuesday that the FIA Compliance Department was looking into an alleged case of confidential information being exchanged. While the FIA refrained from listing names, the wording clarified that it involved an F1 team principal and FOM personnel, arousing suspicion it was related to the Wolffs. Meanwhile, the FIA's statement also addressed that the compliance investigation had been triggered by media speculation, which related to a piece posted by Business F1. According to the report in the magazine, Toto Wolff made a comment in a recent meeting that could only have been made based on information handed down by the FOM. However, the other active teams on the F1 grid have shown solidarity by posting a collective statement that rebuffs the notion that any of them prompted the FIA's action. The statement also voiced support for Susie Wolff, F1 Academy managing director, who described it baseless allegations that are rooted in misogynistic behavior. We can confirm that we have not made any complaint to the FIA regarding the allegation of information of a confidential nature being passed between an F1 team principal and a member of FOM staff," the statement read. The second story is Mercedes under huge pressure to deliver in F1 2024 as Lewis Hamilton is getting restless. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff and his team are under a huge amount of pressure to ensure that the team's 2024 Formula One car delivers next year, says Lewis Hamilton. Off the back of a winless campaign for the German manufacturer, the Brackley-based squad is pinning hopes of a revival on an all-new car concept for its 2024 W15 Challenger. But seven-time world champion Hamilton suggests there is little room for maneuver in Mercedes getting it wrong for a third time in the new ground effect era, which has served to ramp up the demands on the squad and its boss. In an interview with selected media including motorsport.com, Hamilton said that everyone at his team was feeling it ahead of what is a critical winter in ensuring its 2024 car is competitive. Asked how much pressure team boss Toto Wolff was under, Hamilton said, "A huge amount for sure. Not just Toto, but globally, all of us. Everyone back at the factory, a huge amount of pressure on them. Ultimately, as a boss like Toto, you have to start leaning on people more rather than backing off on them. And how you do that is not easy, as people break at a certain point. So how do you do it in a constructive way, in a way that's inspiring them to continue? For me, hopefully some of the race results and drives that I've been able to put in, I like to think that sparks inspiration for the guys, like, oh, we're almost there, and that trickles down through the whole system." Hamilton acknowledged that Mercedes has struggled to find direction with its car over the past 2 seasons, saying that it lacked a clear development direction. "We didn't have a North Star necessarily at the beginning of the year, knowing exactly where we needed to work towards," he said. "And it's been kind of a zigzag line trying to frickin' get to where we need to be. Every now and then something positive happens, you're like, okay, that's it. And then it shifts. So the goalpost is always moving, which is typical." However, off the back of this year's infrastructure changes that included the return of technical director James Allison to frontline duties and a switch of car concept, Hamilton is far more encouraged now. "Yes, I do believe we have a North Star now, which I don't think we've had for 2 years," he said. "But still getting there is not a straight line. There were just certain things, decisions that have been made that just left you blocked at the end of a road and you can't do anything because of the cost cap and all these different things. If you look at the Red Bull, and they've done an amazing job, but from Bahrain last year, they had a bouncing issue and fixed it that week. It is like if you're trying to build a wall. It was one brick after the other, brick, 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 just development, development, development. Maybe they added something, and it didn't add performance, but they were still building. For us, we had to knock down the wall. We had a lot of aero on that first car last year, but we had to basically knock a ton of downforce off it and then slowly try to add it. But every time we tried to add it, it was worse. We just didn't improve for a long, long, long time. So you can imagine they, Red Bull, are progressing, and we're going like this." He indicated a near flat line. Then eventually, it's slowly coming up while they're continuing. That gap. We are just on massively different trajectories, but I think we understand the car so much better now. We have developed great tools in the background, so naturally, I'm hopeful, but I'm not going to hold my breath. The third story is Russell describes 2023 season as very strange after a string of missed opportunities. George Russell admits he will be searching for answers this winter in a bid to understand why he and Mercedes missed out on plenty of opportunities during a strange 2023 season, despite having upheld his performances. Russell achieved just 2 podium finishes this year in Spain and in Abu Dhabi compared to 7 in 2022. He also scored 175 points in this year's championship, 100 less than he did last year when he finished 5th and wound up in 8th. Along with that, Russell's season was marred by a few unenforced errors that saw his hopes of a podium fade in Canada, Monaco, and Singapore, as well as reliability issues in Australia and Sao Paulo. When asked how he would reflect on the year, Russell replied, "It's been a very, very strange season. It's been a season where we've had a lot of pace at times, but never achieved the results that I felt were deserved or were possible. So we definitely need to try and understand why that was. There's been a huge amount of missed opportunities in many regards. It really hasn't been a smooth season. But I think when everything's flowing, when everything's working right, luck tends to be on your side. But when, you're on the back foot, you tend to have bad luck. I'm not one for believing in luck. I think you make your own luck. So, we just need to be faster, and Lady Luck will be with us. When asked to compare his 2023 season to his 2022 campaign, in which he finished in the top 5 20 times and recorded his maiden F1 victory in Sao Paulo, Russell answered, "It's definitely something I'm going to look at over the winter. The results were so smooth-flowing last year, I think we finished in the top 5 more than any other driver. And this year, I feel that I've upped my game in my quali pace and upped my game in my race pace, and we've definitely been on the back foot. But we definitely have more competition this year, with McLaren joining the fight in the second half, Aston being there at the start of the season, but ultimately, eyes on next year."